Ever heard of a town so small that they built a smaller version of it, just to celebrate being tiny? Welcome to Pioneer Place in New Brunswick, a village so meta, it's like a tiny Russian nesting doll of rural Canada. And honestly, I'm obsessed. Let's unpack why this miniature madness matters, the bizarre chicken obsession that defines the town, and how a single blacksmith's legacy tells a bigger story about preserving history in the modern world. Buckle up, this is the most Canadian deep dive you ever take while staring at doll-sized churches. Okay, first things first, Pioneer Place isn't just a small-town attraction, it's a full-blown existential crisis for anyone who loves scale models. This isn't a few dollhouses stuck in a park. We're talking meter-tall buildings, complete with a post office, school, and a church that literally recycled pews from Quebec. Why? Because the community wanted to scream, "Hey, we exist," during the 2014 World Acadian Congress. Personally, I think this is genius. Most towns slap up a sign, these folks built a literal love letter to themselves. But here's the kicker, the buildings were funded by locals who owned the actual structures. So you're not just seeing miniatures, you're seeing pride, shrunk to 1/10 scale. What does that say about community identity? That everyone wants their house in the tiny village? Or is it about immortalizing their slice of New Brunswick forever? I'd argue it's both. Now let's talk about the elephant, or should I say, chicken, in the room. The town's giant chicken statue isn't a prank. They're Canada's chicken capital. Pioneer Place even has 2 poultry processing plants in miniature. One old, one new. A timeline of turkey tyranny. What makes this fascinating is how it confronts a truth, small towns often hinge on industries outsiders find absurd. But here's the twist, this isn't irony. Locals embrace it. The chicken isn't a joke, it's a lifeline. Socia Nedo worked in the plant for 17 years and calls it hard work. So while we laugh at the absurdity, the poultry plant is their economic backbone. It's the ultimate paradox, celebrating a gritty industry with a smiley-faced chicken statue. And honestly, more towns should lean into their quirks like this. Authenticity sells, even if what you're selling is frozen drumsticks. But wait, there's a plot twist. Pioneer Place also houses the home of Nicole Sear, the first person born a Canadian citizen in 1947. Let that sink in. Before her, every Canadian was a British subject. This tiny town holds a national origin story. Yet it's tucked between a chicken shrine and a blacksmith museum. What does that say about Canada's identity? That its roots aren't in Ottawa or Toronto, but in places where history feels accidental. Sear's house in miniature almost feels like a metaphor. Grand moments in history often come from overlooked corners. And if that doesn't make you rethink Canada's narrative, I don't know what will. Finally, the blacksmith shop. Opened in 1894, closed in 1984, same day the blacksmith died. Michaud forged horseshoes the day before he died. That's not just dedication, it's a dead-blasted life philosophy. Student guide Melody Murnau remembers watching Michaud's son work the forge. Her nostalgia hits hard. How many of us have that one childhood memory that feels like time travel? This museum isn't about tools, it's about carrying stories. And in a world of TikTok trends, that slow, deliberate preservation feels revolutionary. Why? Because it forces us to ask, what will we fight to keep alive in 2100? So here's the real question, Pioneer Place isn't just about tiny buildings. It's a rebellion against being forgotten. A declaration that even in a globalized world, the soul of a town isn't its size or its industry, it's the stories it refuses to let die. And honestly, that's beautiful. Maybe we should all take a page from Saint-François-de-Madawaska's playbook. Celebrate the weird. Shrink the past to save it. And if all else fails, just build a giant chicken. After all, if you don't tell your story, who will?